Yeah, okay, let me recall this. So the start of the third, because I know we'll trade in back-to-back threes with them, so and it can always disguise it a little bit by staying in touch, but we'll get some good looks. But, you know, the early on ball, we blitzed on Cotton. We gambled when the ball went to Wagstaff, so he sort of walks into that little floater. You know, we shouldn't have gambled on that. Again, we go down. I think Taran hits a three. Then we push the early on ball with Henshaw, and he sort of takes KG one-on-one, so then he gets 2 points. And then we had 3 successive turnovers in a sense of Tanner with the high-low. Pedro found the sideline, which Wags is always going to jump it, and those were attack break points, and I think Cotton got 2 out of those. And then we soft blitz where it wasn't the plan. We soft blitz on Cotton. He goes kick to Windler. Taran plays both. Goes to Henshaw right in front of our bench. Uncontested 3. We burn a timeout. And then we sort of trade buckets back and forth again. There was, it's like, you know, you got to pick your poison with the coverage. But the problem was we started to get a little bit too soft or conservative with the shows, and Bryce does a good job of getting off the ball. I mean, it was 70-72, I think, at the 5-minute mark in the third, and then it just became shooting practice for Perth. Windler hit a deep 3 on one of them too, which is before I called that second timeout in the third. But yeah, it was just floodgates opened up after that.
You put out a pretty small lineup at the end of the third. Was that more out of necessity just because AK and Sam are out?
Yeah, Alex had 4 fouls.
Yeah.
Tanner was floating around a little bit in foul trouble too. So with Alex picking up 4th, we sort of needed him. The guys were getting tired. We wanted to play P at the 4. We wanted to sort of wait until Perth came out with that small ball lineup. But it got to the point where we just sort of had to pull the trigger on it. We tried to mix it up with a bit of zone too, but at that point, everybody, Pepper was coming out hitting shots. Henny had a great game, I thought. Floodgates just over. I mean, it was 50 points in a quarter and a half of basketball. It's wild.
Can we expect Sam back next game?
No.
And just on Tanner's game, I thought he was quite impressive, especially late, and he seems to be more aggressive than he has been in previous contests. He's talking about his ball.
Yeah, I mean, at the three-quarter time break, you know, and this is it, already the guys, you see their heads drop, the shoulders drop, and I thought Tanner was good in a sense of trying to galvanise the group and bring a bit of energy, and so he led it with his voice at the quarter-time break, and then he came out with some intent. There's no quitting him, right? And we needed that. We needed that from him, especially with Wardenberg, who's sort of provided that for us with him being out. So I thought Tanner did a great job, blossoming into his role.
Just on Pedro, you looked like you guys were at your best early on when he was making baskets. Towards the second half, his scoring sort of slowed down, and he did have a big defensive job coming across on Cotton. But do you push him more to score particularly late, or is it a case of he's just not naturally that scorer that you kind of have to drag it out a little bit more?
I think we've got to do a better job finding him. He's a floor spacer for us. So it's not under the idea of coming off on balls like how Rob and Taran can. So we've got to do a better job of trying to find him, his touches and his looks so he can capitalise on it.
Do we have any questions on Zoom? Go ahead.
Yeah, just quickly. Sorry, Forde. It felt like offensively in the first half, you're almost getting whatever you wanted, and it became a lot tougher in the second half to score. Was that as simple as because you just weren't getting the stops that you were, or what do you put it down to?
Yeah, and again, we knew Perth could run up the scoreboard, and the idea of us trying to be able to pick our moments on the offensive end. But we play with a bit of pace. So when we're inbounding the ball, it tightens up a little bit. I thought Perth did a good job of trying to pressure the ball a little bit more. So there was traps that were happening closer to half court. We didn't have the pressure release passes there available for us. a lot of it too was like, again, we're just getting heavy legs. So the boys, like I said, it's just been one of those seasons. It's everybody goes through those type of spells. I don't think I've had anything like this where, you know, like Sam wants to be out there. He's an absolute warrior, but he can't perform for us at the moment, and we'll get his thumb right. And same with AK. So the guys are giving me everything they got, and you know, they're leaving nothing out there. So it sucks for them that they feel like this is the 40-point, 30-point, 40-point margin that it was. But you know, we'll break down, especially the third quarter. The fourth quarter was just, you know, it was just absolute. A great performance by Perth across their board of hitting those shots, but there's slippages that we want to fix and continue to work on, and that's all we can do.
How different is it now when you review this game after the second half away and out to probably the last four where you've been really close, and you talked in Melbourne last week about how you just wanted to play with a little bit more freedom in close games, but now what's the difference like when you review and reflect on this game when it wasn't quite a close game, you know, towards the end?
Oh, we'll break it down more in a sense of like the play development side of things. So, you know, for example, you know, when I caught up with Tanner during the week, we just sat there and talked about his footwork, for example, in navigating the screens and you know, how he wants to direct retreat and be able to play both, and the rim protection and what angles he wants to work with. So we've moved more into the idea of, you know, the player development side of things, and that keeps them engaged and locked in with, you know, wanting to get better, because, you know, this is only Tanner's second year as a pro. So he's still at the start of his career, regardless of you know, who's available and what the game result is. You know, he's still got a lot of basketball in front of him, so we want to make sure we capitalise on that, you know, the next 8 weeks. So that's just one example of how we'll do the review process. I mean, you can't sit here and go, you know, Alex, you know, like he's a rookie. There's some things that we need to work on, you know. But you know, this is his first real NBL season, so his review's different to Tanner's and Taryn's, and so we'll cater more a little bit more to the individual.
When you reflect on Bryce's game, I mean, what's the balance between thinking that maybe there was areas you could have stopped him a little bit more, or the reality is that I don't know if there's anyone in this league or many places in the world that could stop him scoring 44 the way he's feeling right now?
He doesn't belong in this league. You know, I give Price credit. I mean, I've seen the contracts he's knocked back earlier in his career. Like, he's amazing. He doesn't belong in this league. He should be balling out somewhere else in a higher level. And right now, he's in an amazing stretch, which, you know, not just us, a few other teams have had faced the brunt on. You know, I'm just glad we don't have to play him again for a while.
Thanks, Forde.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you.